Alright, so today we're going to work on a 1972 Dt400. This thing is pretty much a rust bucket. If you ever need anything to get rust off, this is the best stuff I've found so far. I sprayed it on, let it sit a couple times, maybe for about 3 or 4 days, even though it doesn't need to. And I'm telling you, every single one of these bolts came right off. So, PB Blaster, I definitely recommend. So we have a seat we gotta get off. We've already kind of pulled it apart. This thing is destroyed, so we're gonna replace this whole entire thing. We're gonna rebuild it. We're gonna get rid of this. I've got a new one over there that we'll use. We had to cut off the exhaust. As you can see, it was totally rusted out. And the tank, we're also going to replace. There's so much rust in this tank. If anybody needs to know the dimensions of that, that's about 2.7 inches for the channel width. So, at this point, today's goal is to tear it down completely and get it kind of ready to rebuilding it. Alright, so we're going to take this oil tank off. Like I said, these things come off great with that PB Blaster. I would recommend that you wear a mask. These are two-strokes, but they're kind of cool because they come with the oil tank, so you don't have to pre-mix the gas and the oil together. So every time you want to fill this guy up, you don't have to do your own mixture. I'm going to take that guy apart, empty that thing out. We'll see if we want to restore it or if we're going to make something else. Vintage kind of stuff to replace it with, so we'll see if that's the way we go. So we got the oil canister off. We're going to start taking the carburetor off. We got a new carburetor for it. This out. We got to get the spark plug out, which I'm really hoping doesn't have any issues coming out. Then we've got a problem. Phillips over here. I don't know if I sprayed that with the blaster or not. Let me check. So we get this clamp off. The whole boot's gonna have to come off. This way. Go ahead and attempt to take this spark plug out. I've sprayed the heck out of it, so let's see. I'm telling you, this stuff is beautiful. They do not sponsor any videos I have, but I'll tell you what, if they decided to, I'm glad. Well, that's good. So now I know, and this thing Okay, so just got to figure out some wiring stuff, make sure that all the wiring works that's on here. We're going to add a headlight and a brake light. So we're going to have to get some battery, figure out how to wire that all up. But for now, I think we've got it tore down enough that I can start building some of this back up to get it started before we start working on the cosmetics. So I think that's going to wrap up day one, the teardown, and then we'll get back to you on day two.